How are you all right? Oh dear, right, well I'm just trying to get used to this new gimbal, so apologies with what's going on, all a bit crazy. But in today's video, what we are doing brake flush on the Mark IV Golf. So I've gone ahead and got myself the brake and clutch system, pressure system. I was going to do this in the last video, but I sort of like dragged it out a little bit doing the gearbox oil. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a whole video just trying this out. So this is the Sealey VS820, and the first thing we need to know is what's in the box. So hopefully when you buy things, it's usually cheap and cheerful. This wasn't so cheap, but hopefully it will be cheerful. There is other products very similar on Amazon, a lot cheaper as well. But I thought, you know, I've always skimped in the past on some things to try and save a few pennies. And the plastics tend to be a different kind of material, and I've ended up having to buy the decent quality one in the end anyway. So I thought, well, save myself 50 quid rather than spending money on one of these cheaper ones. Why not just spend an extra 10, 15 pound and get something a bit better? Because they always, when you drop them or you knock them, the cheaper ones, everything seems to shatter because it's a different kind of plastic. Whereas this stuff just seems a bit more, I don't know, a bit more like it's going to be a bit more forgiving. And it just feels quality. It does feel quality. So it's got a little pressure gauge on here, capacity of 2.5 litres, do not exceed 28 psi. Comes with a little spanner, so you can make sure you tighten it up and loosen it. Lovely. And here we've got the cap that will go on the reservoir, a little bit of tube there that will also go onto there. We've got plenty of clutch and brake fluid cleaner. Why do I keep saying cleaner? It's just brake and clutch fluid. So I've got plenty of that because I've actually got a lot of work to get on with. I do need to do the T4 as well, so I've got a rear brake compensator that needs to be replaced on that, so we'll be looking at that later in the week, if I can get round to it, because I've also got other jobs coming up, other jobs to get on with as well. So without further ado, let's go give this a go. Basically, we'll fill this up, we'll put in, I don't know, maybe 2 litres or so, put the cap on, and before I do this, I'm actually going to extract, using a syringe, I'm going to extract as much of the old brake fluid that is already in that reservoir. So that's the first port of call. Make sure this fits, drain the fluid, flush her all through. Simple. Simples. Right, so I've gone ahead and filled this up as well, put the cap on it, and I've actually, the only annoying thing is there's no marks on how much fluid you're putting in, so I just put a mark at 1 litre, another mark at 2 litres, so I can always just fill up in between and I should be good enough. Well, that's a little bit annoying that don't fit over that. Oh well, it still works on here though, get it nice and tight. Right, I think what we'll do is we'll do all the brakes first, and then we'll do the clutch, which is just down there. I've just used this already, right? I didn't film it, I just thought, oh, let's have a look, see what happens. And I thought I would just give it a go with the old clutch down there, a little nipple down there. So we got it up to pressure, I got it up to 14 PSI, and then using a 9mm socket, I just went on it, because it's really, otherwise, you've got to move the battery and all the rest of it, all this has got to come out, so that you can get down there, because it is a bit of a nightmare. So I just put the 9mm on a long socket and just cracked it, and just cracking it enough so I just cracked it enough just to get a little bit of fluid coming through, and because it's keeping pressure, it's not going to let any air in. So I was able to crack it, then I was able to put my little pipe on it, as you do, over the top, and then drained it off. Although you do want to put a catch can underneath for anything that you do actually miss. But we've got all that on, just drained that through, and I was able to tighten it all up. Pumped it back up to 14 PSI, because it did lose 2 PSI, draining it all out. I took out about that much fluid. So what's that? Couple 100 millilitres, and it was just running clear the whole time. But that is probably because I have recently done all the clutch and that, so clean fluid there. But now we're going to go around and do all the rest of it. So you always start at the furthest side, away from the driver's side. So we'll do rear left, rear right, front left, front right, and with each wheel always coming back and checking you're at pressure. So I'm keeping it at 14, not going above 14, that's plenty, that's all you need. Right, let's bleed them. I think you can see the separation of the old fluid there, and then where the new fluid was mixed with it. Yeah, it looks green at the bottom. So there we go. I think we've used, probably about a litre and a half. Also, I do quite like the fact that it's got a little pressure relief valve on there. Now we've released the pressure, it should have drawn some of the fluid back up from the actual reservoir itself, so hopefully there isn't any isn't brimmed right to the top, so it should be just right. Let's try and get this off. Happy days. Right, so I've literally just jumped in the car. I'm not ready to move it. I've still got the bonnet up and that. But I thought, oh, before I pack everything away, let's just see how much pressure is on the brakes. I mean, they are rock solid. I mean, there was, I don't know, because I've done everything on a time lapse, I don't know if you'd be able to pick up, but there was loads of air bubbles, even quite small ones, that came out from every single corner. The only place that there was no air bubbles that came out from the clutch, but everywhere else there was air bubbles. Some were very minute. There was quite a large one on the rear as well, on the rear driver's side, so the rear right. Quite a lot of air came out of that one, quite a large bubble. You could see there was quite a bit of dirt in some of them. I wouldn't have said the fluid was burnt, but it didn't look great. But it's all flushed out now, all clean fluid. So I've put through about 1.6 litres of brake fluid, and that seems to have cleared everything out. Everything was running clear after maybe, I don't know, 400 mil each on each corner. Yeah, and then it was running totally clear, no air bubbles. So I've just gone round, made sure that everything's nice and tight and nothing's leaking. Yeah, we got brakes. We got bloody good brakes. Can't believe it. They weren't crap beforehand, but I never realised. I mean, they were soft compared to this, but then I was comparing it to my T4, and my T4 was even worse. But I don't know. But the T4, I don't know. But these are spot on. So next time, T4's getting on the drive, and we are doing the rear brake load. What is it? Rear brake compensator or load compensator. So I've got to do that next time. That's why I've got plenty of brake fluid. And that bit of kit, that Sealey, that's banging, mate. That's going to make my life so much easier. Happy days. Right, I'm going to pack up now, get the car on the road, and then, wow, T4 time. Happy days. I haven't worked on the T4 for so long. And actually, before we go, there's been quite a few questions that I've been getting recently. I will address all of those questions in videos coming up. So, all those people that have those questions, keep watching, because I will be getting around to answering them. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, stay safe, and God bless. Beast.